Welcome back to Milford Sound, and today we're going to do a normal start of the DHC-2 Beaver I'm going to be following the manual provided by Milviz for their prepared and FSX version of the Beaver. That's an old one. I don't know how closely it would this freeware version of the Beaver in MSFS 2022 has been modeled, but I'm going to be following the normal checklist procedure for starting the engine using that manual. And if you would like any further videos on or tutorials about the Beaver, do let me know in the comments, and I'll try to make them as soon as possible. Now the weather is like temperate or normal. I haven't set it to real weather right now at Milford Sound. If I do, I think most probably it will be very cold. For example, right now it's around 20 degrees centigrade. I think that's the thermometer. Yeah, or 18, something like that. So on entering the aircraft, after you do the outside inspection, on entering the aircraft, you have to check the following. Where are my controls? Here we go. Ignition should be off, or the magneto should be off. So it should be off. Parking brake should be set. It should be pulled, the lever. If it's not, then do pull it. Controls unlocked. Oh, sorry about that. I've got my yoke hidden. Yeah, there's a control lock also, yeah, which you can do. And there should be free movement of the controls. There we go. Trims as required. Trims are up here. They're the trim wheels, but normally you would have set them to some button or some hat switch on your flight stick. The pitch trim and the rudder trim. Alright. I don't need them right now because I'm not taking it off. I'm just doing a startup tutorial. All switches off. So if I hide the yoke over here and I go and look at these switches, they should be all off, including the battery, the alternator, avionics master. All of them should be off. Circuit breakers, check them. If they're all in there, you can pull these if you want to, but then pull them back, push them back inside. Alright. And next on the list is fuel quantities. Well, here we are. We've got 3 fuel tanks. We've got the rear, we've got the middle and the front. The rear one has 21 gallons, a capacity of 21 gallons. And the middle one has a capacity, and the front one also has a capacity of 29 gallons each. Both of these are 29 gallons each. Now, right now, I can't see any fuel quantity. Do I need to turn on the battery? Let's have a look at the weight and balance and see if I've got enough fuel. I've got 48% fuel, but it doesn't register here. So I think maybe it's to do with the battery. I turn on the battery. There we go. Fuel quantity checked. And we can turn off the battery again. Altimeter, I hope, yeah, altimeter is 29.92 inches of mercury, and that's set. And if you're flying at night, then you need someone outside to check the landing light, navigation light, and other stuff, and also set your panel and interior lights off. Yeah, and don't forget your flashlight, which MSFS takes care of using the if you enter the cockpit at night, it's going to turn on the flashlight automatically. Normally it does. Otherwise you can use the Alt L default key. Alt plus L. Right. Now the before starting engine checklist. Prop area clear. Seems to be clear. Spacebar. Right. Clear. All switches off. They are off. I turn off the batteries again. Yeah, they're off. Throttle lever. Throttle lever. Control 4. Default key. No, control 4 should be here. Well, here. Control 4. And throttle lever ½ inch or quarter inch forward. That's enough. That's the throttle lever. That's the pitch propeller pitch control, and that's the fuel mixture control. This is the engine control quadrant over here. That's the, I think, the manifold pressure gauge, and that's the tachometer. And over here you have the engine instrument panel, and you have over here the flight instrument panel. Right. Sorry about that. I should have done that before. Now, propeller lever fully decrease RPM is done. It's at the lowest possible position. Mixture lever idle cutoff. And carburetor heat, which is down here. This one over here, this one should be cold. It's cold, right. Right, and you can use the starter to make sure that to turn the propeller, and if there's any excessive amount of oil that is trapped in the lower cylinders, you can take them out. But that is, I don't think that's modeled. That wasn't even modeled in the prepared FSX version. So we can just do that. Oh, we need the battery for that. Battery on, and you can see the alternator warning light turns on, and you have these two lights, warning lights turning on, the oil pressure and the fuel pressure lighting turning on. Right. So turn the propeller and let it go. Now, normal engine start checklist. Propeller area clear, clear. Battery switch on, on. Fuel and emergency cutoff lever open. Fuel and emergency cutoff lever should be open. Yeah, open. And while you're at it, do tighten the cap, the oil filler cap, so that you don't get the rattling noise. I just made a short video on that also if you want to watch it. Fuel selector to fullest tank. So we'll just choose front. We can also choose the middle, but that's the fullest tank. That's the largest tank. These two are larger and the rear one is smaller. So I'll just use the front one. Mixture lever full rich all the way to the front. Now throttle lever is open, quarter or ½ an inch. Now you're supposed to build up the fuel pressure, and how can you see the fuel pressure? Is from over here to 5 psi before you start the engine with the wobble pump over here. Okay, but as soon as you let go of as soon as you do that, it's going to start coming down. So what we're supposed to do is build up the fuel pressure and then go over here, control +5, and primer, give it 5 or 3 strokes, and then ignition should be to both, and start and use the starter switch to start. But we'll first do the ignition to both, because once you let go of the wobble pump, the fuel pressure starts coming down. So let's do that. Fuel pressure, there you go, 5 psi, control 5, and here we go, 3, 2, 1, and engine to start. And the oil pressure should register 50 psi over here. As soon as it does that, you can increase the propeller pitch to full RPM. Sorry about that. Full pitch RPM. Make sure the engine starter switch is off. It's off. And as soon as the engine fires, throttle back to 500 RPM, between 800 and 500 RPM. Done. Here's the tachometer or the RPM gauge. So it should be somewhere over here, not above 800. This dial, this needle over, this stick over here is 800. And do not pump throttle to catch a dying engine. Fine, that's done. And if the oil pressure does not register on the gauge within 30 seconds, stop the engine and investigate. As soon as the oil pressure reaches 50 psi, select the propeller lever full increase. Yeah, so we've done that. And alternator switch on. Very important. And check that the alternator warning light has been extinguished. Once you turn it on, it gets extinguished. If you turn it off, it comes back on. So turn the alternator to on, and you can also turn on your avionics if you want. So that was a brief tutorial on starting the engine. It's very simple, but I just wanted to make it in case anyone wants reference, or it's an easy plane to fly. It's it's not very technical, but I like it. It's a good airplane, easy to fly. And thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.